In this video, I'm going to share with you what is a bank guarantee, how to leverage it to make millions of dollars. Why is it some of people make some of the biggest mistakes and what are they? I'm going to show you a real life case study and answer some of the most frequently asked questions about monetizing bank guarantees. You've got to watch this. Hi, I'm Taimour Zaman from LineOfCredit.ai. My organization is a world-class leader in 3 categories, providing lines of credit around the world using traditional banks with one promise: we can give you far more money than your bank or brokers can provide. Second category, we can help issue and monetize banking instruments. Third area is we assist corporations in participating in private placement programs that actually pay money. You've got to, this is like seriously really cool stuff. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go ahead and do that now. Please press a thumbs up and like this video. So, one of the frequently asked questions, I guess, Taimour, what is a bank guarantee? How is it different to me having a letter of credit? Like, give me the 500,000 feet level. Don't give me the details. What do I need to know that's different about a BG, a bank guarantee, versus a letter of credit? So a bank guarantee typically is when a borrower and lender get into a relationship, especially if the borrower is a startup company, new company, or it's a new relationship like that. The lender may ask for a bank guarantee, or the borrower may go and call their bank and put in a bank guarantee. And what it is that in case the borrower fails at making payments, the bank can step in and make payments on behalf of the borrower. So it provides that feeling of security and comfort as far as the lender is concerned. Now, it's different to a letter of credit. These letters of credit are often used when it comes to international transactions, international trade. With a bank guarantee, the borrower, generally speaking, has a relationship with their banker. You can call up the bank and say, hey, John, do you know me? Can you, issue a letter of credit? Can you have the bank issue a letter of credit or bank guarantee for me? Like that. So it weighs a little bit more when it's a bank guarantee compared to a letter of credit kind of thing. When you're having a bank guarantee being issued, you want to make sure the lender is a beneficiary of the bank guarantee. So if I'm the one who's lending you $10 million, in case you make default payments, I want to be having a very easy time going to a bank, issuing or providing the bank guarantee and collecting that money. So it's really important to understand the beneficiary is the lender. So a little bit of disclaimer about LineOfCredit.ai. My organization, we're not attorneys. I'm not going to provide you legal advice. We're not accountants. I'm not going to provide tax advice. We're not financial advisors. I'm not going to give you investment advice. The information I'm giving you here is strictly for entertainment purposes. Like that, I hope you'll take the case studies and actually implement it. But strictly, I just want to tell you, we're not going to give you legal tax kind of advices. I want to show you a real case study of a bank guarantee monetization that we're actually going through at the time of shooting this video. I'm going to show you what is it I'm looking for, why it's important, and I'm going to come back to this presentation. So in this case, this particular bank guarantee is from Bank of America. What I'm looking for when I see this bank guarantee is I'm looking for the ISIN number and QSIP number. I want to make sure that it's legal, legit like that. I put in the ISIN number or QSIP number in a Bloomberg account. If you have a Euroclear account, you can put in the Euroclear. When you type it in, you should see all the details of the instrument. Why is that important? Imagine you have a car and your car has a serial number, it's a VIN number. If you give that VIN number to anybody, they can authenticate the car. It's a 4-door, it's a 2-door, it's a, does it come with AC, is it color black, blue, green, what is it like that? So when you provide a bank guarantee or a standby of credit, any of these banking instruments, if you have an ISIN number, a QSIP number, allows a monetizer, in our case a private equity firm, to monetize or authenticate the instrument to see if it's real. The second thing I'm looking for is what's the amount. Pretty much monetizing instrument as $5. It's not anybody's. It's not. It doesn't pay. It's not worth anybody's time to monetize an instrument as $5 as example. In this case, it's $500 million. Awesome. There's a maturity date on the instrument. Awesome. I can go to my Euroclear. I'm going to put in the ISIN number of the instrument. I can see all the information on the instrument to be real and legit. Who the client is. I want to make sure that the name on the client is also aligned with the RWA ready, willing, able of the company that wants to issue it. I can go into the details on all of this stuff. The beneficiary has to always be the client that has the instrument. The issuer of the city is important for the value of the bank guarantee. If the issuing city is some country, some city in Africa as a comparison to London, England, well, London is one of the central hubs of financial services industry in the world. So the value of the bank guarantee is far more compared to like a village in Africa as a comparison. So I'm looking for the issuer of the city. Bank guarantee information, awesome. Signatures in every sheet from the banking officer, awesome. Interest and maturity date, that's fine, no problem. I want to make sure the ISIN number is always the same, so it's not fraudulent. Maturity date, these things are fine. It's not a big deal for me. Issuing city is a big deal for me. The recipient is important. Transaction reference is not important. I'm just showing you really truly of my Euroclear report so you can actually see the instrument is real or not. I want to skip through all of this stuff. There's a tax one that I can do a 10-hour video on the tax one. The rating of the issuing bank is important. The actual instrument itself, I want to see a copy of it. So now I know the instrument is real. Now here comes the big one. The details of the instrument is awesome. I need to know that. I want to make sure that 500 million is true in all of these areas. However, another big one, and I did a whole video on it, is when you want to issue an instrument, the instrument has to be backed up by an asset, and it's really important for that asset to be there so that I can make sure that the money behind the asset is important. In this case, it's here. It's telling me that the instrument is backed by MTN cashback. So what that means is that I've got two videos that are over an hour long on MTNs and cashbacks. But this demonstrates that the bank guarantee is cashback by is backed by medium-term notes of the bank, which now not only makes the bank guarantee real, but I know the whole transaction myself is real. So these are the things I'm looking for. What's the issuing city, face value? Is the instrument backed by, what is the bank by that out? So those are the things that's like super important to know. So now you know what a bank guarantee, checking for real bank guarantee looks like. Now I want to take you to the story and put this all into context for you. The biggest question is understanding how people make money. If you don't understand how people make money, you're going to be in a transaction that will have a high rate of failure. So I'm going to tell you a story format because people understand stories. So let's say there's a guy called Sam, and Sam owns the banking instrument. He's a beneficiary of this bank guarantee. So he's got a $500 million bank guarantee in his name or his company's name, right? And that bank guarantee is sitting on the shelf collecting dust is how I'm going to talk about it. Then comes a guy called Donald. Donald's trying to raise money. He's got a startup, or maybe he's got a farm or some kind of a business. He wants money in it. It's hard for him to go get $200 million from his local bank like that. And Donald and Sam meet through a broker. And Donald says, hey, I can't access capital. Sam says, well, I have a bank guarantee. If you can monetize the bank guarantee, or if I can monetize it for you, then maybe I can give you a loan, or I can give you investment income and help your business expand. Awesome. So Donald and Sam have now agreed to do a transaction, but what they need is a monetizer, somebody who actually takes a piece of paper, a bank guarantee, and monetizes it. And the person who put them all together is a broker, somebody who understands, hopefully they come from the financial industry and they understand what banking instruments is all about. So these are the characters. I'm going to show you how they make money and various ways of this transaction going wrong, and the correct ways that it should be done. So remember, Donald's looking for money, and so Donald will tell Sam, Sam, you have an instrument I can monetize that instrument, I'm going to give you 40% equity in my business. Now, remember, I'm just using this as an example only. Please don't hold me to 40% equity. The guy's name, the true name cannot be Donald. Just this is only for entertainment purposes, right? So, but Donald has to have some kind of agreement with the guy who owns the instrument on what's in it for you, the guy who's got the instrument, to give me cash by leveraging that instrument. So Sam says, okay, fine, no problem. This is a piece of paper sitting on my shelf collecting dust. If I can get 40% in your company, you're going to build the next Google, the next Facebook. By the way, please don't try to invent the next Facebook or Google. I don't think you'll be successful. That's my 2 cents. I could be wrong. I've been wrong many times. I'm not giving investment advice. Somebody has the next Google, Facebook. It's up to you if you want to invest in it. But let's assume it's a business and Sam's really interested in investing money in that business. He says, okay, fine, I'll monetize the instrument and I really want to invest in your business because this is really cool and I like it. Awesome, great. And I'll take 40% equity. So what Sam and Donald must have, sorry, I mistyped the name Jim in there, but they must have this, is Sam and Donald need to have an agreement that's signed between an investor and lender, where the investor and borrower, so where the investor slash lender is saying, I have a banking instrument, I'm going to put it up, and the borrower will, pay this interest rate, coupon rate. The borrower will give me equity, whatever the deal is. These two must have not only have met, but should also have an agreement that's executed by both parties. Then you need a monetizer. In this case, I'm going to use M for Mike. Mike is a monetizer. Mike will say, well, okay, I look at the bank guarantee. I like it. This is real. I've gone to Euroclear or Bloomberg. I've put in the ISIN number, QSIM number, and I can see this is a true instrument. I'm going to monetize it. I'm going to use 70% LTV, which means loan to value for this instrument. Awesome, cool. So on $500 million, 70% of it becomes $350 million. So what Mike will say is that once I take over the instrument, I'm going to give you $350 million cash. Cool. So now the question becomes, I think most people are clear how Donald makes money, most people understand that the lender and the borrower are going to make money and they have a private contract. The part that people don't understand is how does a monetizer make money and what happens behind the scenes. So I'm going to actually talk about that. So Mike actually has multiple ways as a monetizer to make a lot of money by becoming the monetizer. So one way is Mike will say, give me the instrument. So now he's going to get a $500 million instrument transferred to his name because he's the monetizer. And then what he does is that he goes to his bank, whoever his bank is, and says, I'll have a bank guarantee for $500 million. I want to use it as a deposit for me to get a line of credit or loan. I can tell you if Mike does it today with HSBC London, or most of the European banks will give him 4 times multiples, which means Mike gets a loan. He gets a loan for $2 billion. When he gets a loan for $2 billion, he can invest $2 billion in all the things on the planet that Mike wants to invest in. I'm not going to sit down and guess it for you. It could be real estate, oil and gas. I don't care. Mike has investment in vehicles he wants to invest in. He wants to put in a private placement program. He'll make a lot of money on that for sure. But out of that $500 million instrument, Mike can put it and just get a line of credit loan on top of that for himself. That's one. Second part is Mike is now paying face value of the instrument. The second way Mike could make money is he can take the $500 million instrument, he pays $350 million cash for it today. On the maturity date of the instrument, Mike can walk into the bank, display the bank guarantee, and he can collect $500 million for the bank guarantee. The third way that Mike can make money out of this is he can do a combination of the above steps. Now I'm giving you 2 or 3 ways here. There's probably 300 different ways that Mike can make money on monetizing that banking instrument and being that monetizer. Like really there's 300,000 ways of how Mike can leverage that banking instrument to make money. In terms of line of credit.ai, occasionally we want to be the monetizer ourselves because we really like the instrument. We can see the application utility of the instrument and various things that line of credit is involved in. In many cases, we work with the top 2 monetizers on the planet, and we go to them and we get a high LTV. Like there are things that line of credit.ai does. Just want to share with you from my experience. For my work with monetizers, they make a lot of money by monetizing the instrument. Brokers, in this case, the broker's name is David. David just gets a commission of 1.5%, 2%. Whatever the broker has agreed is a commission, one-time commission that they get off the instrument. Someone disclose how people make money. Sam, who owns the instrument, gets 40% equity in Donald's business. That equity could be, hey, upon Donald doing X, he gets 40% of the business, whatever it is, whatever. So that's how Sam makes money out of leveraging an instrument that's sitting on the shelf collecting dust. Donald, on the other hand, gets $500 million, goes into being monetized. He gets $350 million cash, less fees. Remember, there's legal fees, there's broker fees, whatever. Now he has $350 million in his business that he can go ahead and invest and make money on that. Mike, who's the monetizer, makes $500 million minimum. And then David, who is the broker, gets 1.5%. I've sometimes seen 2% is what he gets. So 1% of $500 million is $5 million. So David, as a broker, makes some cash out of it. Generally speaking, that's how people make cash. So one of the biggest challenges, or some of the biggest challenges people have when it comes to monetizing bank guarantees, semi-letters of credit, document of credits, this happens a lot. Unfortunately, this happens a lot, and that is that the client, in this case Sam, has an instrument that's non-monetizable. Unfortunately, this happens a lot. Billions and billions and billions of dollars get stuck in the economy because the instrument they got is non-monetizable. Now, within linecredit.ai, if you go on our online store, you can actually buy templates of standby letters of credit that have given the biggest LTVs to our clients, and that's something you can buy. I also have a few videos on how to get the highest LTV on your instrument, so please feel free to go and watch those videos and go to our online store and download, purchase instruments that give the highest LTV. You actually get the right language. Second challenge a lot of business owners have is they use the wrong brokers or they use bankers. A retail banker, if I walk into my banks today and go to a retail person, like a retail employee of a bank, somebody who's sitting behind the desk, and tell them I want to monetize a $500 million instrument, that teller would have no idea what I'm talking about. That teller has to figure out who within that large bank they have to call. And if they call the wrong banker, unfortunately, that's some of the biggest challenges most common people do, is they use the wrong brokers who have no idea what to do. They use the wrong banker who has no idea what to do. I've seen attorneys who have no idea what to do, accountants. Like I can go list of the people who just don't know what to do. And unfortunately, that person could be a trusted advisor or in front of the client, but they just are not the right person. And so that's been one of the biggest hustles and challenges in terms of monetizing bank guarantees and similar instances. The other challenge that a lot of businesses don't understand is there's fees involved, and they don't understand when to pay an upfront fee because it's a joker broker, and they have no clue what they do, and they just want to charge some money. What are the behind the scenes fees? Like sometimes people shy away from moving forward because they simply don't understand fees and back-end structures. The other one is that a lot of clients don't understand the process and the structure that I'm about to show you, what happens behind the scenes. I mean, they don't understand it. This is where they get stuck in the transaction. And then many times I've seen this, unfortunately I've seen this many times, there's a transaction that has 7 or 10 brokers in it, and they all want to make a commission. And the broker deals with another broker who deals with another broker, and I call them joker brokers. And there's way too many of them. I can tell you with linecredit.ai, we simply don't even get involved in the transaction when there's that many brokers, because our probability of serving the customer, which is what we want to do, doesn't get fulfilled. So we just simply walk away. So this is some of the challenges. So a question I have for you, given the experience that I've shown you so far, would you have any objections in hiring linecredit.ai to help you in this area? So my question to you, the viewer, is Given the expertise I've demonstrated so far, do you have any objections in hiring line of credit AI and helping you monetize banking instruments like bank guarantees? Please leave a comment below. Thank you. If you have no objections, I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, but also specifically to like it so that our knowledge, our expertise is transmitted for free around the world for people to understand how to do this correctly. Now I want to talk about the legal structure. So remember Sam owns a banking instrument. He's agreed to monetize it. Sam, not the joker broker, not the borrower, not my next door neighbor. Sam, who is the owner of the instrument, must have a legal relationship with the monetizer, in this case Mike. Why? Because Sam's the owner. He's a beneficiary of the banking instrument. He's the only one who has the authority to call Mike or get into a relationship with Mike and say, Mike, I have this banking instrument. I want you to monetize it. So now Mike provides a deed of agreement to Sam to say, yeah, I will monetize it. I'll give you 70% LTV or 50%, 100%, whatever the deal is between Sam and Mike, the monetizer. Agreement will have to be placed on monetizing the instrument. From there, you need a lawyer. The lawyer needs to set up something called a special purpose vehicle. So in step one, Sam and the monetizer have their own agreement. It's usually called deed of agreement. I don't want to say a private agreement, but for lack of a better word, it's a private agreement between the guy who owns the instrument and the monetizer to say, I'm going to monetize this instrument for you. It's a private agreement between those two. The money from the instrument has to go somewhere. Is it going to go in Taimour Zaman's bank account? I love to tell you the answer is yes, but the truth is the answer is no. Has to go somewhere. So that's when you need to call an attorney. Please, please, please do not call the attorney your father used, your grandfather used. Don't call a traffic attorney. Don't call a divorce lawyer attorney. There's a gazillion attorneys you simply don't call. You're looking for a securities attorney. We really are truly looking for a securities attorney because compared to all the attorneys on the planet, securities attorneys will, keyword, somewhat understand what you're trying to do. So you're contacting a special you're contacting an attorney. You're asking for the attorney to set up something called special purpose vehicle, a one-time corporation, a one-time event agreement, and the special purpose vehicle will say that Sam owns the instrument. When he monetizes the bank guarantee, he'll provide a registered loan or investment to Donald. So the attorney is the one who needs to do that. Donald requires capital. Donald's the one who's going to be in the SPV to says, yes, when Sam gives me $350 million, I'm going to give 40% equity in my business, whatever the deal is. And by the way, here's a copy of our agreement. Now the special purpose vehicle needs to refer to the copy of the agreement. And by the way, here are all the lines. Here's the lineup of the joker brokers. These are all their bank accounts. These are people that need to get compensated for putting this transaction together. Assuming, keyword assuming, the brokers didn't screw it up. This happens a lot, unfortunately. So that's the special purpose vehicle that an attorney needs to put together. Sam and Donald need to understand whatever that LTV is, that's not the net amount they're going to get because the brokers need to get paid, the lawyer needs to get paid, like there's fees involved. So next question is what are the timelines? Assuming Sam and Donald meet, generally speaking, not always, this is general numbers, please don't hold me account to it, 4 to 6 months. From time, if I'm the lender and you're the borrower, if you call me today and I like your transaction, between 4 to 6 months, I think we should be able to close, generally speaking. Then you want to find a broker. Oh my God, this takes a bit of art. I should do a 10,000 hour video on how to find the right brokers, but we'll skip that. Finding the right broker who knows what financial instruments are and they're not an intermediary or a broker who pretends they know what they do, like they've actually done it a few times, will take some time for sure. And then you want to look for a monetizer. Once you find the right broker, the monetizer is right there behind him because they're the right broker. If you get the wrong broker, this thing will take a long time for it to monetize. So, frequently asked question I get, Taimour, if we hire line of credit.ai, how could you help us do this better, cheaper, faster, like that? And here's my answer. So for Sam, if line of credit.ai was hired to represent Sam, to work with Sam, what would we do? Well, if I was going to leverage his $350 million, this is the out-of-box thinking, complete out-of-box thinking, I would not give it to Donald, period. Not day one. I would take his $350 million and put in a private placement program that I know and I trust that pays $350 million a month, every month for 10 months. Like something like that's what I would do. And so I would take the 350, put in a private placement program, and out of the proceeds of the program, I would then fulfill Donald's requirements. Now, if I'm Sam, I'm not putting up $350 million to get 40% equity to some guy called Donald. In most cases, I don't even know who Donald is. Praying, hoping that this guy exits, praying, hoping he's got experience and he can exit, praying, hoping a whole bunch of stuff that I don't care about necessarily. I put in a private placement program, then I would invest in Donald like that. If LineCredit.ai was involved in a transaction representing Sam, I will look for insurance reps. I will look for ways where I would talk for sure to Donald and make sure I get a personal credit, a personal guarantee on that loan. There's 500,000 things I would do if I was representing Sam, beyond just leveraging the Sam line of credit for sure. Now, if I'm representing Donald, if Donald calls me and says, Taimour, I'm can I hire LineCredit.ai? Can I hire your expertise? We don't have a strong CFO or lawyer. Our CEO doesn't even know what these things are about. What would I do with Donald? First thing I would do for Donald is I would train him on what's the difference between venture capital funds versus debt financing. There's like 10 different hedge funds. What are all the differences? Most people don't even know. Most bankers don't even know what these things are, unfortunately. But I would give him a brief introduction. Then I would take the $350 million. I would put that in a private placement program. I would look for various ways where paying Sam would not be an issue. Not that I don't trust him or don't trust his business, but before COVID, if somebody told me toilet paper would become one of the most hottest commodities in the world, I'll probably think you're crazy. After COVID, I clearly don't think that. So if I was representing Donald, I would do a lot of things. Just for lack of a better word, in one simple example, I put it in a private placement program. If the broker calls and says, hey, we're getting involved in a transaction, how can LineCredit.ai help us? If we hire you, we would then maybe not create a white label service, but kind of provide a global banking service behind the broker so the broker can really differentiate and start working with the broker to give them strategic advice on the transaction so the broker could make 10 times more money beyond just a commission. So imagine if you could enjoy having a global banking resource like LineCredit as part of your management team. What does that mean for you? What could that provide for you? Well, the services we can provide that perhaps your lawyer, your CFO, or somebody else cannot provide. One is we can increase your assets for the future sale of your company or getting large line of credit as an example for your organization. For instance, there's a lot of shell companies and on various stock exchanges. Acquiring one of these shell companies that has been paying its taxes. If you're a startup, really you're a startup, you're 1 year old, not a lot of banks would want to lend you money. But if you're all of a sudden a business if you own a business that has been operating for the past 15 years, you're going to get preferred banking rates. As an example, the line of credit you get is probably 5 to 10 times more compared to your startup. So there are things we can do for you that would help you sell your business or get far more cash than you can or what your CFO can think about doing. We definitely design and execute a credit strategy that perhaps you can do for yourself. We can help you access different forms of fund, hedge funds, private equity firms like that. Because we are a private equity firm, we have a lot of relationships where it reduces your banking fees, speed in which you can get money moved, like that. So it's just a lot of benefits into having line of credit as part of your management fee. Now, if you want to monetize a banking instrument by yourself, you can and you should. Here are things you need. You need to have a copy of the actual instrument by that. You need to get a CIS or KYC. If the person who is participating in monetizing instrument, Sam as an example, is participating on behalf of a corporation, you need a CIS, a customer information sheet. It's different to a KYC. A KYC, knowing your client form, if I tell you my name is Taimour Zaman, and I provide you KYC, and there should be 2 legal documents as a minimum that proves my name is Taimour Zaman, the driver's license, a passport, something like that. But if my corporation is participating in a transaction like LineCredit.ai, Then I prove to you there's a corporation exists called LineCredit.ai. That means I have to give you my incorporation papers. Then I need to show you, prove to you that I'm an officer director of the company or one of the officers directors of companies, and I have the right to enter into a transaction. That's what a CIS does. So if you want to monetize a banking instrument, you need a CIS or KYC, and then you need a copy of the instrument. You then need to get in touch with somebody like a LineCredit.ai, which is a private equity firm. You should get us a non-disclosure agreement because you're going to give us confidential information. And then you should get a service fee agreement. The other word for it is a irrevocable fee agreement. That's a different word for a service contract, but it's basically you're going to pay us our fees for monetizing instrument for you. Those are the things you need if you're going to do this yourself. If you want to monetize a bank guarantee, you can definitely try to do this with your own bank. I would not recommend contacting your teller. If you don't have a relationship with wholesale banking, commercial banking, wealth management, you can start with your teller, but then you have to call your teller, go in front of them, put in your ID card or however you authenticate with the teller. Then the teller has to call somebody who most likely they don't even know who they are. Then you pray and hoping that guy knows who to talk to. It becomes a S show, whatever. So if you want to do that, you should do that. If you want to go and use the experienced banker, the broker model, you want to look for experienced broker. The problem with brokers is they don't like the name broker, so they come up with fancy names. I'm a facilitator. I have direct access to monetizers. They use every word that the real word should be a broker. So you need to cut through the cloud, the gray area, to find out who's the right guy or not. And the third option is you can always reach out to LineCredit.ai, a private equity firm. I think we have a little bit of experience, just a little bit. If you see our videos and customer case studies and walkthroughs, we have a little bit of experience and you can just work with us directly. So that's if you want to monetize a bank instrument or a standby of credit, I highly recommend it. That's what I would do. So next thing, what's the next frequent question? If you're interested in our services, if you want to have a strategy session on what's possible with your company, with your buyout, exits, monetizing instruments, getting access to capital, feel free to book our coaching consulting hour link. And me or any of my associates would be happy to be on an hour call, 45-minute call with you, understand what you're looking for and help you put together a strategy and hopefully help you execute on that strategy for sure. I don't know why I constantly get this, why choose LineCredit.ai. If you're looking for a line of credit, we go to a bank and we buy courtesy deposits and condition for that bank to provide line of credit to a client of ours. And so what that causes, if you're familiar with fractional lending, I'm putting more money in a bank's bank account, and therefore the amount of credit they can give to a client is more. And I'm doing it because so they can give a line of credit to our client. That's why our promise is providing far more lines of credit loan than banks or brokers can provide. If you're looking for monetizing a banking instrument, because we're a private equity firm, we can get a far higher LTV. And in some cases, we can also execute a lot faster than a client can. And in private placement programs, we can assist with accessing platforms that actually pay and we trust, we know all that. Some of our competitors have litigations against them. That is unfortunately true. One question I get is how come we don't? My truthful answer to that, the truthful answer is every large corporation you work with, whether it's Ford, Google, Facebook, if you actually look into their balance sheet or income statements, you'll see litigations for them. I do believe, unfortunately, at some point, God forbid, we will get into litigation. We just haven't grown to be that level, but that's the truthful answer. Like that. Now, some of the partners I have behind the scenes have had litigations against them, and I want to tell you, I trust them in my life compared to people who have good credit scores like that. I know a lot of people who are in this industry who were maybe caught in the wrong conversation at the wrong time, and but I have working relationships with them and I trust them really well. Another one is, are there any new vehicles out there for project financing? And the answer is yes. One of the vehicles that I really like is if the asset that has value, like a bond, a stock, luxury item, art, or whatever, we can definitely help assign a lender who lends in that asset category. Whether it's a gold mine, silver mine, luxury art, they assign they provide cash or loan against that asset. We can then take that loan and put it into various banking instruments, leverage it, and get a line of credit on it that's far more than the loan, pay the loan off, and then invest a delta in a special, like in a private placement program, through a special purpose vehicle like that. So it's definitely lots of instruments out there for creative thinkers, for sure. Who's the market we serve and why? My intention on line of credit is to fund entrepreneurs. I believe that entrepreneurs are out there trying to create meaningful change in the world. So I'm really interested in providing them with far more capital than banks or brokers can provide, because I believe they're the heart of any economy, whether it's good or bad economy. You always want to be working with authentic, real entrepreneurs and give them funding that they need for them to create to change the world. Having said that, not every entrepreneur is our cup of tea. I'm not looking to work with entrepreneurs who are financially broke, as an example. I'm looking for entrepreneurs that have capital and they're willing to pay a premium fee upfront to work with experienced private equity firms like ours. So I'm looking for that upfront fee for that experience that we bring to the table. That's the market I'm looking to serve. Another question I get is that we are looking for brokers. That's actually true. We're always looking for good brokers to work with. But when I talk about brokers, I'm looking for dealer brokers, people that have established books of business, people that have agents working for them. I'm not targeting the independent guy in India, as an example. I'm half Indian. So I'm not looking for that Indian guy who's working in the basement of his mother's house, who thinks he has an instrument from some guy who he's never met and he's never done monetizing a banking instrument, as an example. That's not the broker I'm trying to target or work with. I'm looking for established brokerages and have brokerage licenses, have like 10 agents or 50 agents or 12 agents working for them. They understand what financial instruments loans are. They appreciate expertise and experience on the table. My name is Taimour Zaman from linecredit.ai. I hope you found this helpful. I look forward to the opportunity of working with you and your team. Thank you so much for your time.